What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 83. I am your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Why, hello, folks.
Chris Seeley.
What's up, everyone?
Brett Murdock. Brett, say something, man. You're fucking up the intro.
Sorry, I was on mute. What the fuck's up, motherfuckers?
And joining us today, our very special guest, as always, Mr. Michael A. Hated Greatness.
Hey, what's up? Thank you guys for having me on again. It's always a good time, so let's get to it.
Yeah, man, we got a lot of topics that are going to set you off, man, I guarantee it. That's why I wanted you on tonight, man. You bring that heat.
I try. I try.
First things first, I forgot to say this last time. Throwdown has reached, at this point, over 400 subscribers on YouTube, so yay us. This call.
You gotta hit that.
Yeah. So thank you guys for subscribing to our crazy-ass podcast, It's like I always tell people, man, you be consistent, the people will come. We do 2 podcasts a week, every week, without fail.
Yep.
People like that. And we also bring things from a different perspective. We're not coming at it just like everybody else, which also helps us. So thank you. And I believe, we're pretty close to like 100 on SoundCloud. So if you just want to listen to us, if you can't take our beautiful faces, subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud too,
Our beautiful faces as in Tony and me.
Yeah. Everybody else.
I mean, I'm not that evil. I would not want to curse people with the ugliness that is me.
Oh, shit.
Victor Von Doom wears a mask all the time. I'm poverty. I don't have that mask yet, so I just don't put him on.
He said he's poverty. When you're royalty, though, man, wear that mask, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's get into it, man. Main topic, we got to talk about this Uncharted shit, people. All right, so the review embargo was lifted for Uncharted 4 today, right? As you would expect, got rave reviews. Sorry to quote them, but Metacritic gave it a 94, which lets you know it got 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s everywhere, right? Not surprising, Xbox fanboys went fucking crazy. They're, claiming the usual shit, right? Media bias for Sony against Microsoft, right? Sony's paying off all the sites. The usual bullshit, right? And then the Sony fanboys got in on it. They were mad at sites that didn't give the game a 10 out of 10. They're claiming the same bias shit too. Microsoft paid them off to give the game a 9 out of 10. It got so yeah, it's insane. It got to a point where IGN, they gave the game a 8 out of 8, right? 8.8 out of 10, right?
Sounds good.
That's a good score. The person who reviewed it was a woman. She got blasted. They were saying, "Oh, that's because she's a feminist. That's why she liked Tomb Raider better." What if she just liked Tomb Raider better? What if there's no agenda?
What if she did like it better because she was a feminist? It's her opinion, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Her opinion. Well, okay, yeah. Again, I think this comes down to I still think we need to have 2 different kinds of reviews. We need to have an attempt at being unbiased, and then we need to have editorials. And they need to be clearly labeled so that people, if she's trying to be unbiased and clearly letting her feminist lens, and I'm just assuming that may be the case for the sake of argument here, if she's trying to make an unbiased argument and she can't see past her own feminist principles and viewpoint, then that is a reason to get upset. But if this is an editorial style, this is her just kind of telling you what she thinks of this game based on her own viewpoints and her own experiences, then her, kind of pandering towards, this is how I experience this game through my perception. There's nothing wrong with that. So I think the question becomes yeah, you may have bought this thing and not be happy with it, but the question is, what was she selling? Was she selling you something unbiased, or was she selling you, this is what I think of the game? Because if she was selling you what she thinks of the game, then shut the fuck up.
But here's the thing, you got to remember, this is an IGN review, right? IGN doesn't typically talk about that stuff. If you read both of her reviews, she doesn't talk about that at all, People are just talking about, but the thing is, this, I want to get to discussion later, even though we've had it a million times. I always say every review you read is, everybody's opinions are going to color them regardless, right? But the main part of this specific discussion I want to talk about is, Why is it that fanboys on either side are getting mad about review scores for a game they haven't played yet? Think about it like this, right? Xbox fanboys, they don't know if the game is worthy of being a 10 out of 10. They haven't played it. And conversely, the Sony guys don't know that it isn't a 10 out of 10. Right? So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, guys, either way, you don't know. So how can you get so heated over a game you haven't actually played yet? I've never understood it, and this isn't a new phenomenon. I remember it back with Killzone 2. Like, people giving that...
You're living in a fantasy world, Tony. You're living in a fantasy world, and I can tell you 2 reasons why I feel that way. 1, it's all well and good that we shouldn't talk about reviews for a game unless we've played the game. That sounds great. And also, yes, we should, in theory, take every game as a subjective viewpoint and as more of an editorial, because an unbiased, truly unbiased review of a game is impossible. There's 2 problems with this, though. 1, that means that nobody who has bought a game, regardless of the fact that somebody has warned them that they may not like it, has a right to talk about it. And that leads to an inherent sort of elitism where unless you have the cash, you can't pony up and join the discussion. And that builds a very grim world, like I said before, that's very elitist in nature, and we don't want to go there.
How is it elitist, though?
Wait, how is that elitist, though?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Because it comes down to, if you don't pay, if you don't have the money, then you can't talk about this.
No, it's you're taking it in a different way. I'm saying if you haven't played the game yet and you see what somebody else's opinion is, you can't exactly get too worked up over whatever their opinion is because you haven't played it yet. You know, that's what I'm trying to get at here.
You can't get too terribly worked up, but you can definitely join the discussion. And there are a lot of
people. What would you discuss? Like, you would be discussing something with no validity, no experience, no knowledge. You would be talking about feelings and just projecting your own biases that you have before even experiencing the game. Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Like, even if I am not an Uncharted fan, I've never been an Uncharted fan. I've played the games. I mean, they're not bad games. I can objectively tell that they're quality games. But I'm not a big fan. At the same point in time, like, when I saw the news of the reviews coming up for Uncharted, I didn't feel any type of way either way because I haven't played Uncharted 4. I don't know if the game is as good or as some people are saying. I don't know where it's really supposed to be rated. But there are people, definitively speaking, already before the game hasn't even released in America. It's not even that it's out yet and they haven't bought it. It isn't available to buy yet, and people are already arguing about the review scores the game is getting. That doesn't make any sense. You haven't experienced the game yet.
Yeah, how can you say that?
I could understand the standpoint of worrying about the quality of reviews or worrying about people coming or reviewers themselves coming in with biases. But, I mean, even with that, it's like, play the game first. Have an argument to stand on and then critique reviews and then critique the scores. Why is that the discussion? I would be reading the reviews. I would read numerous reviews and then at least compare them. These people don't do that. Oh, you gave this game I like or don't like a number that's too good or not good enough, so I'm going to attack you. That's really stupid.
Exactly. And then actually, hold on, Brad. Just hold on to it because I want to give a perfect example. And this is the mindset of most of these people. And I'm talking from a personal experience now. Back a couple of years ago, I reviewed Infamous Second Son, right? At the time, I thought the game was fantastic. I gave it literally a 95 out of 100, right? That's the score I gave it. I caught shit for that, right? They were like, why didn't you give it a perfect 100? And I'm like, dude, because blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no game is perfect. And then the guy goes, oh, I'm sorry that I got so mad at you. It's just that this is my favorite game, and I wanted you to give it a perfect score. I'm like, how do you know it's your favorite game? You haven't played it yet. Like, I reviewed this thing 4 days before it came out. So this is the mentality. These people are like going, Uncharted 4 is the greatest thing ever. It's it's Naughty Dog's best, without actually having played it. They're basing all their shit on interviews, fucking gameplay trailers, and commercials. That is it. That is not like a good standing point to base your opinion on, or to get mad over a fucking score. Like if you're gonna do that, you haven't played. Just to get off what you said, you don't need to play a game. What if your buddy buys the game and you see him play it, right? And you're like, hey, this game's pretty cool. Then you go online, you see the reviews, like, okay, that review's off. Then you can opine, right? But if you literally haven't played a single second of the game,
that is
how
not
can you get
always
mad?
true, Tony. You're cherry picking your examples. What about?
How am I cherry picking?
I'm trying to tell you, damn it.
Okay, go.
If there are certain absolutes of a video game that could cause a person, like take The Order, for instance. I didn't play The Order. I know The Order was too short for me to spend $60 on. I know this for a fact because I like my games to have more substance. And based on that simple fact alone, I would argue that The Order doesn't deserve a 10 out of 10 because there is a large section of people like me who feel that way. And that's the proof of this is how much backlash it got for being the length that it was. Now, you may be one of those people that says it can be still a fantastic game and you like it short and all of this, that, and the other. And those are all fine arguments, but then I would postulate that it shouldn't get a 10 out of 10 unless most people can agree that this is an amazing game. And there's too many people that say that this game isn't amazing because of A, B, C, one of those things being the length of the game, that it shouldn't receive a 10 out of 10 score. Now, that may be a very small slice, but that's still an example of a time when I haven't played a game that I can still extrapolate certain things from it. I don't like how Batman handles their DLC, so therefore I didn't play it. Therefore, I don't think that anybody should review that game as a perfect 10 out of 10, because it involves some bullshit shenanigans. Now, have I played the game? No. Do I need to play the game to know the thing that I'm arguing about? No. Is that the case 90% of the time? No. But I don't think we can have a blanket rule of, if you haven't played it, shut up and sit down. I think
here's the thing, though, and here's where you're going wrong, though. You're talking about a specific thing about a game, and that's all well and good. I'm talking about people who are mad about the score. They're not arguing about what is actually being said in the review proper. They're not talking about that. They're talking about why didn't this game get a 10 or why did it get a 10, and they don't even bother to read the actual review. That's the problem. We're not arguing like specific mechanics of the game. We're talking about scores now. That's the thing we're arguing now. We've cut out the middleman completely. Now we're just arguing scores. This is a Sony game. This is a Naughty Dog game. It deserves a 10. It's crazy to me. It makes no sense.
I'm not arguing with you on principle. I'm just simply saying to remember the caveat that we can talk about these video games even if we haven't played them. Like, I want to make sure that doesn't go off the table because it sounded like that's the direction that we were going in. Now,
I mean, I don't know if that's what Tony's saying, but me personally, I don't like that mentality either. I would think people, and I think that's part of the problem with gaming for a while now. If people spent more time talking and focusing on the games they've actually played and the games they actually enjoyed, versus talking about games that they haven't. Because think about it. If you're talking about a game you haven't played, what are you really saying? Well, you're just regurgitating things you've heard other people say. You can't formulate a valid opinion on something you have no experience with. You can only regurgitate what other people have told you or you've read on the internet. That's it. So, like, I understand where you're coming from with your example on The Order. And, well, I've actually played and beat The Order. So going into it, I think a lot of that hurt me because I was going into the game thinking, oh, this is going to be a game that's super short. It's not going to be a complete experience. I can't skip cutscenes. So without the cutscenes, it's only like 4 hours of actual gameplay. Playing the game, I got a complete experience playing The Order. I didn't feel shifted or anything. The cutscenes are integral to The Order, which is probably why you can't skip them. But I wouldn't have known that without playing the game. If I had never played The Order, I'd have just listened to what everyone else said about The Order and just regurgitated that and continued this cycle. That's the problem. You have to experience something.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Hold on. But you're working under the assumption that we can all just experience something. Yeah, in a perfect world where video games are free and we all have infinite time, that is absolutely true. But video games exist in a place where you have to choose A or B. And in that choosing A or B, you have to make a decision between A and B, having not played A or B.
I understand that.
So there's an inherent place where even if we cleared out the arena of all discussion, like we all decided like we're not going to discuss video games that we haven't played, by the very nature of the need itself, we would end up again discussing games that we haven't played because there's a niche there that needs filled. And I don't think that necessarily.
What do you mean? I don't understand what you're trying to say there.
How do I put it? In a perfect world, you are correct in the sense that should we all give all games a chance or should we judge a book by its cover? No, we should never judge a book by its cover. However, when you are looking at the cover of two books and you can only choose one, that analogy no longer holds up. At that point, you do have to judge a book by its cover by the very nature of the need that you can only choose one. So in a perfect world, yeah, we should all give video games a chance, but in the real world, we need to pick between video game A and video game B, and therefore we need to make a choice based upon face value. And we, a lot of times, then have to have a discussion about a video game that we haven't played, simply based on the fact that we're trying to choose between two video games that we haven't played.
I understood what you were saying, and I was 100% up with you until the last part of what you said. There's a difference between making a decision based on what game you're going to get because of finances or whatever, time, whatever, limiter you have, and then going and discussing it. If I'm trying to choose between game A and game B, I only have enough money to buy one game. I choose game B because it appeals to me the most. That's cool. When it comes to talking about games, unless I'm explaining to people why I didn't get game A on surface value, what else can I say about game A? I never played it. I never experienced it. But and everything I would say about it would be further tainted by the fact that a large part of the reason, maybe not exclusively, but a large part of the reason I didn't get that in this example is because I just didn't have the time or the money or whatever for it. That has no impact on the quality of that game. That's me as an individual. That's the problem when it comes to people talking about games they don't play. They've never played. They've never touched. They've never even seen someone they know actually play via stream or sitting in their house playing it. Because at the end of the day, you really don't have anything substantial to add to that conversation or any experiences that you can hearken to. It's just, well, I heard that. Yeah, I saw that. That doesn't help gamers. That doesn't help gaming. That doesn't help that game at all. And that's time you could be spending talking about games you actually played. That's time you could, and not to mention the byproduct of that, you wouldn't get this Uncharted situation where there's, first of all, if you are an Xbox fanboy, you are not going to play Uncharted. Exactly. You're not going to play Uncharted because you're an Xbox fanboy. Why are you reading reviews for Uncharted? So that you can celebrate if it's an 8.0? Like, that's stupid. Like, why are you reading reviews for a game you're not going to get? Why are you having discussions about a game you're not going to get? Who cares if it's bought off? Like, that's silly.
Hold on. Yeah. I'm not advocating, and I'm not coming in and white knighting people holding strong opinions about shit that they
no. I know you weren't. I was just conveying it back to the topic. I know you're not okay.
Okay.
I get, there's a difference between what you were saying and no. I was just bringing it back full circle because
I need to jump on what Mike just said because it's a very important point, right? Okay, if you're an Xbox fanboy, right, you don't need to worry about this game because you're not going to play it. If you're a Sony guy and the game gets 9 out of 10 instead of 10 out of 10, it doesn't actually hurt your enjoyment of it. It doesn't at all. So again, why are you bothered with this fucking score for a game? That's the crucial part of all this. People are getting so worked up for something that isn't even out yet. They can't even reference with their boys or none of that shit. I don't get it.
I can't understand looking up the score of a game that you already own and have played either. Like, that seems weird to me too.
Yeah, that's stupid too.
What you just said, I agree with 100%. If I've already bought the game, if I've already pre-ordered the game and I knew I was going to get it because of previous entries to the series or something like that, I don't really care what reviews are going to say about it. I'm not going to look at a game, that game only got a 7 out of 10, so I'm not buying it anymore. Even though I've wanted the game for years now. Like, that's dumb to me. But there are people that think this way. I think it's really just you want your choices confirmed. You want to feel like you made
validation, man.
Some people just want to feel like I bought this, but I'm not confident in it. So I need to make sure everyone else thinks this way too. And if they don't, maybe there's something wrong with them. Or the scary thing is, hey, maybe I made the wrong choice. So I'll just go online and blame and attack them. It's just silly to me. And then PlayStation fans complaining about a game getting an 8.8, 8.9 out of 10. Just shut up.
Really?
Shut up. That's your big problem.
I mean,
shut the hell up.
This all stems back to, again, review scores are the fucking problem here. It's so silly, and it's modern review scores especially. It's like if your game gets anything between a 1 and an 8, it's shit. It's complete rubbish. Don't buy it. If it gets like a solid 8, it's okay. If it gets a 9, it's a good game. If it gets a 10, the greatest thing ever, every other game that came before it is invalidated. That's modern review scores right now. It's fucking stupid. This is why I am really against review scores. If they actually use the entire scale, then I kind of get it, even though I'm still not a person that gets the whole you're adding an objective thing to a subjective thing. You know what I mean? Like an objective number to a subjective review. I never understood that. But if you're going to use a review score, at least use the entire scale. But people don't do that now. It's a fucking problem. And then you get this shit. These fanboys just going off about crap they don't really know about. It's really infuriating, and all day you saw this shit, all fucking day. How dare you give it a 9 out of 10? Both sides are saying that.
And see, here's what confused me. Like, Okay, and I had this conversation with Jeffrey Wilson and a couple other cats online, and they basically said what I said, so I knew I wasn't crazy.
Okay.
Like, you knew what kind of scores Uncharted was going to get because it's a very consistent franchise. It's been getting these scores with every entry to the game. Whether or not you agree with the scores is irrelevant. This is how the people that write reviews are accepting this game. They have been for years. You saw this coming. So if you don't agree with that, why would you bother reading a review for Uncharted? If you don't agree with certain people's that write reviews, political views or alignments, or the way they write reviews, why do you read their reviews in the first place? I am not a fan of people who inject, social or political ideologies and views into game reviews, because I that has no place in that. Video gaming is a place I'm supposed to be able to escape from that. But if I know someone does that, that's within their right. I can't argue with them for doing that. So what I would do as an intelligent person is just not read their fucking reviews. It's that simple. So when I see people getting mad at a woman who reviewed Uncharted because she's a feminist, it's not like she became a feminist like last Tuesday. Or surprise, she's been this way. I'm assuming. I haven't read her review, so I don't know what she said. But I'm assuming she's been this way for a while. You knew this going into her review, and then you got mad that she's this way after reading her review. Like, who does that look bad on? Not her. She's consistent. She's been this way for a while now. It's you. The people who are having issues with her reviews or comparing her review to Tomb Raider over Uncharted. If she's a feminist, are you really shocked she preferred Tomb Raider to... Not saying that that's the only reason why she would, obviously. But I'm just saying, would you really be shocked by that? No. So it's like, why do you get angry about things that you know are going to happen? Why do you get angry about things that you have control of and could simply avoid but choose not to? You're upset about how some of these companies, quote-unquote, are bought off or biased. Stop reading their reviews. Support other people who don't do that. No, it's not. It's harder to go look up quality writing, right? So you'll just keep complaining about the same thing. I don't get that. Like, this is silly. This should really not have happened, especially since there's people who are genuinely excited for Uncharted, and for them to have to deal with all this nonsense online is kind of silly to me. I just didn't get it.
It's insane. Chris, get in here, man. What are your thoughts about this madness?
I agree with you 100%, and we've talked about this before. Extreme fanboys in all camps suffer from incredible insecurity, and they can't stand when review scores don't jive with their worldview, and they seek out rhetoric that supports their worldview. Hence, a guy whose name begins with other and ends with zinc likes a certain phrasing of things. He likes to have his worldview confirmed, right? And anytime anything bucks that, or reviews or otherwise, he gets angry. And there's a lot of guys like that, and it's unfortunate. They're insecure about their choices. They need to hear that. And it's even sadder that what you're saying, the Xbox fanboys need to feel that Uncharted is a horrible game to feel better about themselves, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's and going off on that, they're also mad that the game isn't, Quantum Break didn't score as high.
Oh, my God.
And they're like, that's proof right there of the bias. Like, no,
I mean, it totally is.
Yeah, Manny, get in here. Actually, Manny, tell me that thing you were telling me about with what's his face, the nostalgia critic.
Oh yeah, there was this really. This is like I posted this earlier in the week, and the nostalgia critic posted this really nice I guess I don't know, video about reviewers and how how we shouldn't get so pissy about what reviewers think of what, because you should look at all reviewers as a way to kind of think of the thing that you're looking toward, looking to watch or buy, as a way of looking at it from different angles. If you looked at all the different reviews of a game, each one of them will have different points. From those different things, you could extrapolate something that you might enjoy, or a bunch of things that you don't enjoy. And all reviews, no matter what you do, how biased, you're gonna still bring in your personal likes and dislikes.
Sure, but that would require them to actually read or watch the whole review.
Oh yeah,
and not judge it based on the score. Yes,
exactly.
Reviews are subjective. You have a bias. It's like everybody has a bias, all right? So that to say like, oh, there's bias here. You have a bias. You came in with a bias. That's why you're complaining. So you have to watch the whole review. You have to, or read the whole thing. Actually read it to understand why the score is the way it is, and maybe then judge it fully on like, okay, I could see where he has these points, how he played the game, let me watch a video of it. But no, these guys are immediately frothing at the mouth. They want to think Uncharted is a piece of shit. They see it gets glowing reviews, and they freak out, right? And then they rail against whoever said that it's good. Now, on the same time, Sony fanboys need to calm the fuck down. Game is getting 8 or 9s or whatever, relax. That's a really good score.
Yeah, but again, it doesn't matter what the game's getting. You know you're going to enjoy the game, so why the fuck do you care?
Yeah, it's like it's like the insecurity. You are going to enjoy the game, exactly what Tony says. You don't need to care what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, and I need to ask this, out of the group here, who is actually still dependent on reviews? Like, who here on the panel is actually still dependent on reviews?
For question mark games, for games that I don't know anything about, I'll still look at reviews, but I'll look at multiple reviews from different sources. Because I don't believe in looking to one person specifically, because one review, like I said from before, each person is going to zero in on something different. Some guys talk about sound design, some people don't. Some people talk about control, some people don't. Some people talk about story, some people don't. It's all these different things combined together, and that's what will help me make a decision. But for a game like Uncharted, I'm probably going to buy an Uncharted no matter what the review is.
Yeah, because your history with the franchise, right?
Yes, I have that history with the franchise. Same thing with the Halo game. If I enjoyed the Halo series and I got to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to continue to buy them. But then at some point, after let's say one of the Halo games kind of misses the mark, then that becomes the question mark, and then I would start to go in and be, okay, maybe I should look at a review of this next Halo game because the last one was kind of, crappy.
Yeah, no, I feel with me, I stopped reading other people's reviews years ago because I felt, the main reason was at first was because I didn't want them to, because man, just like you said, every review brings a different angle. I didn't want any of these other angles influencing my reviews, right?
Yeah.
But then, as the years have gone on, I figured out, hey, my friends are a pretty good gauge of these things. So if I'm questioning a game, I'll just ask them. Like Brett here, he saved me with Assassin's Creed Unity. He's like, Tony, this has been my experience. Don't get this game. I'm like, that's all I need to know.
Oh, me too. I returned it the next day.
Based on what Brett said, and when you said, I'm like, wait, that's all I need to know. And I do that buys Assassin's Creed every year. I was excited to buy 2 Assassin's Creed games. When I heard my friends tell me, I'm like, okay, because I heard the technical stuff. And I'm like, we'll see about that. Because sometimes these reviewers can be full of shit. When I heard my friends tell me that different story, then I backed off.
I think also, but you've always kind of listened to to your friends and stuff like that. Exactly. I mean, that's part of the gauge. It's like, okay, if you owned a game or played a game that I didn't play, I'll definitely ask you. I'll pick your opinion over the opinion of some person I don't know.
Yeah, and just like you, I asked you for stuff because you flat out tell me, Tony, don't buy this. You're not gonna like it, and you've never been fucking wrong.
Yeah,
remember when I bought Fireworks? Like, Tony, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, you are not gonna like this game, and lo and behold, you didn't like the game because because also most friends can gauge, also knowing your personality and knowing who you are, they can pretty much gauge. I know there are certain games that you will not play. Yeah. And I will not suggest them to you.
Yeah, but I mean, 90% of the time, I know exactly what I'm going to get, and when I get to a game, it's like, okay, it's by this company, it's by the developer. I know what I'm going to get. Let's go, and it works out. So I really have absolutely no reason to look at reviews. People ask me, like, did you see the reviews? I'm like, no, I didn't see the reviews because I don't fucking care.
The one I say the only one misstep that I've ever had was Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
Oh,
everything that was out there said that this game was going to be an awesome game. What looked cool, the reviews were good, and then I played it. It was horrible.
Yeah. It was a piece of shit. Yeah, exactly. What about you, Mike? Do you still check out other people's reviews from now, or do you just check out what your
Um,
friends say?
for me, it depends. I mean, as someone who writes reviews and whatnot, I don't really want to because I'm worried about especially if it's for a game that I myself am reviewing. Like you said, I don't want to have someone else's thoughts taint my own. I'd rather look at the game and talk about what comes to mind for myself. I do check out reviews from time to time on games I'm not going to review, and it's mainly either people I know and trust as reviewers, either like people I've looked up to for a while as reviewers, like Eric Kane over at Forbes. Like not even just his reviews, like anything he writes, I read. Just
Yeah,
because
Eric Kane.
even when I disagree with him, like he's probably the closest thing to like a legit journalist in gaming
I agree.
that I can think of, like currently. And he's even when I like the sign of someone being a quality writer even when you disagree with them, they make points so valid that you can't really argue. It's like I don't agree with you, but I see your argument and you placed it well and you did a good job placing it before me. But yeah, there's some reviewers I still check out, but like I said, it's like a list of reviewers that I know and trust either because I'm friends with them or I've just been reading their work for years and I look up to them. I'm also willing to give new writers a chance as well because you never know what's out there. But I definitely have a large and ever-growing list of people that I just don't read their work because it's trite, and I don't like subjecting myself to trite. So
Yes. Yeah, Chris, what about you, man?
No, it's mostly word of mouth, and if I'm really curious about a game, I'll just go on YouTube or something or Twitch and watch like a stream. Or I listen to you guys. That's usually what I do. It's like I'll look what you say or read your articles or read someone else I trust, but that's it. I don't generally read reviews. Like reviewers I don't know.
Yeah, Brett, what about you, man?
Um, I will if I'm like standing in the store and I'm like, there's like a couple games here that I've never heard of. I wonder if they're any good. Then I will.
That's the old school stuff too. Because I know when I go into a store, if I need to go to a store, I know exactly what I'm getting. Back when I was a kid, it was like, "Ooh, what are we getting here? That game has a cool box art. Let me get that." That's pretty interesting. You still kind of do that. You go into a store and you're like, "Hey, what's that? Let me check out some reviews." Very interesting.
I'm also the kind of guy that I'll be like, man, I don't have a video game to play. Like, I need to find something. And I'm not real big on window shopping because I'll be honest, I kind of believe that looking at stuff that you can't afford or can't buy just doesn't really make you real happy.
Yeah.
So most of the time I don't do a whole lot of window shopping, and then I'll come across, as a tattoo artist, it's feast or famine. So I'll come across, a windfall, or I'll have a real good week, and I'll be like, oh shit, I have an extra, $50-$60 to buy a video game. Like, the fuck do I buy? I haven't even been paying attention to what's out. And then I end up in a position where I'm like, yeah, okay, I need to maybe check out some reviews, see if any of these games are actually worth playing. Because usually then it's like, okay, so I have some money, I want to play a video game. The games that I know I want to play, like, I know that they're coming out, and I know when they're coming out. So they'll be like, shit, like, it's like, man, Doom's coming out, but, right now I don't really have anything I necessarily want to play until Doom, but there's these few games out, so let's see what people say about them.
All right. So again, we'll see what happens when the game actually comes out. If there's going to be any more uproar, but it's just silliness to me. Anyway, let's move on here. Nintendo news.
It's a cereal now.
Yeah, man. Okay, so during one of their earnings calls a couple weeks ago, they said this, but now it's been confirmed. Nintendo is not going to be showing anything at E3 except for The Legend of Zelda. So when you go to their booth, nothing but like kiosks full of Legend of Zelda. The Nintendo Treehouse, they're going to be nothing but live streaming Legend of Zelda. No games at all besides Legend of Zelda. What do we think about this, people?
I think they've fallen so far over the years, right? I mean, these are the guys who used to throw their own mini E3 back in the day.
Yeah.
Space World, right? And they had so much shit to show, they couldn't even show it at one E3, right? And now they've gone to the point where it's like, we're not even going to talk about anything else. We're just going to talk about Zelda. It's like, hey, you realize not all your fans are Zelda fans, right? Like, there's a lot, but they want to hear other stuff too. They don't want to be waiting out for one game. If you think everybody's going to hang on to their Wii U or buy an NX for one freaking game, you ain't been paying attention.
Yeah, and then they got the NX coming in March, and you would think they would show something, but no. And this game is gonna be out for the NX. Nope. This the Wii U version. That's all you're getting. You know. So yeah, I don't know, man. Nintendo. What else can you say at this point?
Zelda.
Hey, get the guy with the turtleneck back.
Yeah, just runs through the halls and over there screaming for Zelda.
Yeah, and then I want to toss in also the actually no, we'll get that to that later. The NX is going to be not sold at a loss, ridiculous. But Mike, what do you think about them only showing Zelda at E3 this year?
Like, I'm trying to find a way to spin this positively, because even though I see I'm giving up on Nintendo,
You're trying, man. You're trying.
What is the point of even having a physical presence at E3 for one fucking game? Just have a Zelda booth and that's it. Don't have an entire there's no defending this. This is an L. A big L.
I don't know if they're gonna have the whole booth open.
Maybe just have.
Because you guys have, guys in the internet world haven't actually seen what their booth looks like. But if you've seen shots of it, it's pretty huge. Now to fill that up with Zelda shit, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like third-party developers that have space at E3 that have more titles there than Nintendo.
Yep. Think about that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
And Mike, think about this. What if this game is worse than Skyward Sword?
Don't do that. We don't need that kind of pessimistic thought as well. Fuck you, okay? No. I'm full Nintendo fanboy right now. How dare you? How dare you?
I didn't make the game, dude. I don't have a dog in this race. I don't have to worry.
No, I have to worry because I don't want Nintendo to fail. Like, I honestly, that's a loss of jobs in the industry that I'm trying to get into. That's a loss of amazing games, and that's what bothers me. Like, Nintendo, there are games not even for the Wii, for the Wii U, but also for their handheld and for the NX that people are expecting to hear more information about that aren't out yet.
Yeah, well,
Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. You're just gonna not talk about that at E3 at all.
Why wouldn't they talk about that? And you got a Pokemon game which you're gonna have to lean on very heavily for the holidays. Why wouldn't you show that? Too?
Why wouldn't you show that? Hell, Pokken Tournament's doing amazing for you. I don't know. Maybe you could, showcase some DLC with new characters and stages and modes. No, we're just gonna have Zelda shit here. A game that you're gonna eventually have to buy twice because it'll come out on the Wii U and then the damn NX.
Apparently they're coming out on the same day for two different consoles.
That's even worse.
Oh, Nintendo, man.
I don't understand. I really don't. Like, they're gonna have to give. I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do. That's a lot of time for one game. Like, no one's going to be checking out your stream repeatedly because after they see the first loop of the Zelda footage, that's it. What else are they going to watch? The same loop over and over again? How often are you going to talk about how much you like Zelda? Like,
they claim they're going to have developers talking about their thoughts about the game. It's like, how often, how long can you listen to that? Right. I think it's fantastic. No one's going to say anything critical,
Yeah. So many. We know there's a Mario project in development. There has to be because there's a new system coming out, and you don't launch a Nintendo system without Mario. You know that they're going to re-release Smash Brothers on the NX with all the DLC included and maybe new characters. We know that's going to happen. You know there's a new Mario Kart coming because it's been a while since Mario Kart launched, and Mario Kart is a pure moneymaker for them. None of this is going to be at E3. You're just going to talk about Zelda. That's it.
Zelda!
Imagine if, Microsoft had a conference and it was just Halo. They had no other
Halo. No, that would be ridiculous. Halo. We would say the same thing. It's like, how are you just going to talk about Halo?
Not even. It would be worse. Fans would destroy them. Like, how dare... you can't do that. Sony shows up and oh, yeah, we got Uncharted, guys. What else? That's it.
That's it. That's all you see.
No. What else is coming?
The fuck?
There's more... I hope someone in the comment section below, please enlighten me. This hurts me because I like Nintendo. I always have. I always will. I like their philosophy when it comes to they're trying to do things that other game companies aren't doing. But this is not one of them. This is not an improvement for their company, for their brand, for their fans, for gaming as a whole. Like, this is bad. This is a really bad precedent, and it will have dire consequences for them. I don't see an upside to this. So someone schooled me on an upside. I guess maybe they save money that they would spend at E3, right? Because there's less people that they have to hire, because you only need like 3 people to talk about Zelda.
But why go at all?
Hundreds.
Why go at all at that rate?
Yeah, why go? Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Unless they're planning on doing some super large secret reveal of some games, or like they're just gonna have so much index information. There's gotta be something. There's no way it's just Zelda. They're lying.
Could this be a cultural thing? I mean, could this just be that they don't actually have something, but they're not going to not show up to save face?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you're right. Like, could be like, hey, listen, we can't just not show up, so let's just do this at least, you know. But that looks equally as bad, you know.
Well, to them, you gotta remember, if it's a cultural thing, it might be it's the idea of just it's worse. It's better to at least fall on your sword than to just cower and hide. I don't know.
No, I mean, they are Japanese. That is part of their culture, actually. You know, never give up. I mean, you had to nuke these people twice in order to get them to surrender. You know, so hey, that's just the truth.
Wow.
These people do not give up, man. So it makes sense.
That was a really weird compliment, Tony.
That wasn't a compliment. That's just a fact.
Like, the tenacity of these people. You have to throw 2 nuclear bombs at him to get him to fucking quit.
I'm telling you. Tell me wrong. But the point is,
oh god.
The point is, it could be a cultural thing. I didn't think about that.
Oh shit.
It just seems like Mexicans, man. They'll work 3 jobs at $4 an hour. What the fuck are you trying to say, man? Like, it sounds like a compliment, but
oh man.
Hey, when was the last time your country got nuked?
That's not funny. That was not funny at all. I apologize.
Shit.
Oh Jesus Christ! What is wrong with these people? But seriously, this is an L, and there's not even an L in Japanese, so I don't know. It's an R.
Yeah,
this is bad. This needs to be fixed, because man,
the most racist throwdown, man.
They're taking a huge Ross right now.
I would be pleasantly surprised if they had like a secret thing at E3 for press, and they're like, "Oh, look, we have all this other shit." Whoops.
No, they won't. No, they won't. They won't do that shit.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because they do a company. I mean, what if they are showing stuff behind? But see, that would defeat the purpose. Like, why do that? No one's going to be talking about it because no one would see it except for press.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
they're just gonna do one of those things. Like, yeah, we got to see this back behind those doors. Blah blah blah. At the TED Talk.
I'm gonna come on and say this. I think a large part of the reason for this isn't just the Zelda information and where the status of other projects. I think it's the reception that Star Fox got. They're worried now. That game got ripped to shreds by people.
Well, yeah,
because I'll be honest, after actually getting hands-on with it, it's not as bad as a lot of people made it. I mean, it's still not good. Like, the game has clear and obvious issues, but I expected that game to be like the worst game I played. I thought it would be the equivalent of watching that movie Waterworld or whatever when I was a kid, and it's not. It's not that bad.
Waterworld isn't that bad either.
Yes, it is.
Please don't do this. Anyway,
there is worse.
I mean, maybe, but
I
that doesn't
say Wing Commander, and everybody in here will go, "Oh,
you don't need to do that." Oh, okay, fine. It's not Wing Commander, but
trash.
Like, it's not that. I think they honestly are worried about another title being destroyed, like the way Star Fox was.
Yeah, but
a large part of that was their fault because
yes, it was. It's absolutely their fault. They made the game. This is not on Platinum. This is not on people not learning the control scheme. The controls were shit, and they have to face up to it. And if Zelda is a disaster, and they put that at E3 as the only game they're showing, then they deserve everything they get for that.
Yeah, I agree.
Zelda can't be a disaster. It can't be.
It absolutely can be. I don't think Miyamoto has a good idea left in him.
I don't think it will be.
We'll see.
Zelda's a pretty consistent franchise, in all honesty. I can only name like one Zelda game I don't. Maybe 2.
Which one is that? I'm curious.
I didn't like Minish Cap. I've never liked Minish Cap.
But you like Skyward Sword?
I didn't like Minish Cap and Skyward Sword. So that's 2.
I only bring that up because that was the last Zelda game on consoles we got.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. I mean, it wasn't a. But see, even that's the thing. Those games aren't bad games. They just don't compare to the other Zelda games. And that's what I mean with the Zelda game. That's what I meant with the Zelda before. I think that's where they're banking on it because they realize that even like the worst Zelda games are still solid games. If you get what I'm saying.
It's also bad form. Bad controls can ruin a good game.
Very true.
You have bad controls, a game is ruined. Star Fox Zero probably suffered the most because of those controls, right?
Yeah, it did.
So if Zelda has janky controls again, you can write them off. Write them off this year.
God damn. No. I just really need to get into PC gaming.
I just heard your inner Darth Vader go, no.
In your anger, you kill.
No, it's like the older I get, I'm like, why am I dealing with all this stuff with these companies? I'm seeing more and more of the companies I love, like making bad decisions and falling apart, and then like my friends that game on PC, they're staring at me like, why are you doing this to yourself? Just play with this, become one of us, and you won't have to deal with this. And they're kind of right.
Come to the dark side.
Like if I just turn my back on Nintendo, I wouldn't care anymore. I keep telling myself I need to be there, but
you probably should just give up, dude. Like seriously,
I need to.
Nintendo gave up on you years ago.
They did. They really did.
Nintendo's a toy company now. Well, they always were a toy company.
Yeah, I would say they always were one since like the 1800s. But God, I'm gonna say this. There's going to be. They have bombs that they're. I probably shouldn't have said this after what Tony said. They have a bunch of secret tech that they're saving. Like this is all a comprehensive genjutsu that we're all being genjutsu. It's an illusion, and we're all prey to right now. And they're going to release it at E3, and we're going to see just games we didn't see coming. I believe that I'll live in that delusion because I have to. I can't live in the reality right now. It's too great.
They're gonna open up the vaults of Gunpei's millions and millions of ideas.
Tons of new games that people have been, no Homeward Bound and all these games we've been waiting for, just bam out of nowhere. Like, oh my God, thank you, base Nintendo. That's what I live in that world because the facts right now, that's an R. So I'm not trying to live in that world right now.
All right, what about the other Nintendo news that they're not going to sell the NX at a loss? That tells me it's going to be made out of some cheap shit. Again, we're going to have a Wii U and Wii situation, basically, where they have like...
Well, we already knew that. We already knew that when they came out and said that the system's going to be about as strong as the PS4. I'm like, yep, you fucked up. You fucked up. You're going to come out with a system end of 2016, early 2017. That's as strong as the system that came out in 2013 that was weak in 2013. Like, why? What's the purpose? That makes no sense. You knew they weren't going to. They're not. Nintendo refuses to budge of coming out with a system that's just powerful. They won't do that.
No, they'll never do that.
And that's a problem for them because that's cost them the last. Not even the Wii that was financially successful to them. The reason the Wii's lifespan was cut so short was because the system was just so weak, people literally just couldn't make games on it anymore. It wasn't so much the interface and the controls, it was the hardware itself. They aren't learning from this. And if they're refusing to sell the game at a loss, the system at all at a loss, and they're already aiming at a low point, nah. This isn't going to block. This is not going to be a system where there's going to be so many capabilities for great graphics or large multiplayer experiences with multiple players. No, that's not happening. I let that go the moment they announced that PS4 parity goal. I'm like, you're aiming low. Like Sony's not even aiming there anymore. Sony says, yeah, we fucked up. We're going to fix it. You're aiming lower than that, and you're coming out 3 years afterward. This is stupid.
Yeah, Nintendo, man. Just give up. At this point, just give up. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Don't give up.
I am saying that. Just give up and become a third party. Stop
with the
nonsense.
No. I know. Because if Nintendo leaves the console market, you'll have Microsoft and Sony. Microsoft and Sony essentially released the same fucking console. There's not much difference between the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, but how much impact has Nintendo really had? Let's just be honest.
Since the Wii.
Since the Wii on consoles, not much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
their impact is all handheld. So you're right.
That's what I'm saying. It's already a two-man race as it is.
Yeah,
So them leaving, the console space wouldn't really change anything, you know?
But the market is in primed like this, and this is part of what makes me angry. The market is primed and ready for them to come out with an amazing system. They just
Yeah,
won't
but you know
do
what's
it.
going to happen? They're going to come out with another system with a. Well, here's the problem with Nintendo. I would buy a Nintendo system right now if they release it with a regular fucking controller. That's been the problem for Nintendo for like 20 years now. They release these crazy gimmicky controllers that nobody can fucking play with. You know, like just give me a regular controller.
No,
I want to play this shit.
To be fair, the GameCube controller was excellent. It really was. I know it had the giant win button, but
I don't know about that, Chris.
I would say it was. I thought it was awkward looking, but when they actually used it for games, it just made sense.
When you use it, it's really good. And also, the Wavebird was revolutionary. They're the first one to have a regular wireless controller.
Very true as well.
Which was great. And that's the innovation I want them to come back with, but they don't have that anymore. You don't do that
Not to mention,
anymore.
the GameCube controllers were extremely durable. People are still using GameCube controllers today to play Smash Brothers.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Like, so they did something right there. It's just that after that, they lost their way or something. I don't know.
Nintendo, man.
Come on, man. No, there's something. There has to be something.
Well,
maybe this was lost. Maybe this was got it right here. Ath pool, don't care. Perhaps this is all a mistranslation. Huh? Right? Maybe that's what this happened. I'm reaching. Listen, I'm pulling so far on my own ass. I don't care. I need something. Yeah,
so. You're going into Mariana Trench right now. You're digging deep, son. So
digging deep. Scuba wear on and everything. I'm just going down. I have to.
Well,
and then here's my. Oh, go ahead, Chris. And then I got something else to say.
No, I was going to say, going back to Fanboys, they're going to come back at us like, oh no, they're going to have the most powerful console ever. It'll be stronger than a PC. You know, the delusion will go to 11.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking. Oh man. But okay. Here's the thing. Nintendo traditionally doesn't do Tokyo Game Show, right? Will they have to do it this year to talk about the NX? Because when else would you do it? Or are they just going to do a fucking Nintendo Direct? Because they may just say fuck everybody else. You know? Oh, Nintendo, man. Now I'm getting upset. Fuck Nintendo. I'm moving on. All right. This news is very kind of silly to me. So some not the entire company, obviously. I just want to make that clear. It wasn't the entire company, but some members of DICE, after the Call of Duty trailer was revealed, they got a new game called Infinite Warfare. Right? It's set in the future or whatever. Some members of DICE are bashing the fuck out of the game. That seemed to me kind of low class. Like, why would you do that? Like, one guy, his name is called Ronald Smedberg. He goes, today I watched the new Call of Duty trailer. How quaint. These cute little free cam shots. Precious 2010 graphics and grade school editing. Quaint. You know, you got this other guy. He comes in. The same guy. He goes, what can I say? I did not like the look of it. Ugly use of DOF, lighting dull. But all in all, not a bad looking game. Smiley face. Another guy goes, it looks like a game from 10 years ago. And then another one is like it was 3.5 minutes of CG. Anyone got links to actual gameplay? It's like, really, guys? What the fuck is wrong with you? And then they end it with, just my personal opinion, made all in good fun, friendly competition and all that. That didn't sound very friendly to me. You know, it sounded kind of petty, to be honest. And I don't have a horse in a race. I don't care about Battlefield. I don't care about Call of Duty. But it's like, come on, guys, you're gonna talk shit like that over a trailer out of all things? It just seemed kind of low class to me.
Yeah, well, they're complaining about depth of field and lighting. I remember Battlefield 4 being fucking broken when it came out. How about that? It's like,
how quaint is that?
How quaint is that? Yeah, exactly. The game launched broken. Listen, if you're in the same pool as the other guys, don't piss in it. Like, you shouldn't be talking shit to these guys. Like, you got your own stuff to work on. It's not like you guys, are releasing some like life-changing titles there with Battlefront and whatever. You know, the money pits that you release. So I don't think you should be talking shit to anyone else.
Yeah, you guys think they were doing this because there's going to be a new Battlefield trailer tomorrow?
Yeah, of course. But
I'll be honest. Have you seen that? I'll be honest. I like Battlefield a lot, and they made sure to tell you that this is in game. Of course, they could be lying. Who fucking knows? But just the detail on that character. First of all, if that's true, I don't expect Battlefield 5 to work at the day one because they spent way too much time on like the dude's facial, like the pores on his face. I don't need to see that. Like I could see the dude's soul, and that's too much. So I don't expect I don't expect it to work that accurately. Like the Battlefield 5 is just not going to work for 6 months like 4 did. So, I will say this: Battlefield and DICE has always taken shots at Call of Duty, always. Like in their trailers for games, DLC, even in game, they've always taken shots at Call of Duty. It's just what they've done. So this didn't shock me. It's just them being more direct about it this time. And the things they complained about were things that Battlefield fans are used to having in their games. So I guess that's why they say that. I don't think Call of Duty cares because they're going to make money regardless. Except, well, I don't know, this new one. I don't think I've ever seen a Call of Duty game get this much hate before.
Yeah, this is a lot from them. Like usually there's one or two comments, like engine jabs and whatever. This is a lot.
Everyone is hearing. Even I mean, I'm not a Call of Duty fan really much because the gameplay doesn't appeal to me. But even now, when I was sitting there watching it, I'm like, I don't even know what game this is anymore. It doesn't look like Call of Duty. And I know I've always said, yeah, Call of Duty needs to do something different. And I was like, you know what? I apologize. They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have, because this ain't it. This is not what they needed to do at all. Space, that is not well, it's going to be their final frontier if this goes right, because this might be the end for them for a bit. I don't really have a problem with what the Battlefield people said. I agree with you that it was unnecessary. I'd rather they at least waited till their trailer came out to throw shade.
Yeah.
Versus doing it beforehand. Like, it's kind of like, all right, you're throwing shade at them. Prepare yourself.
What you got?
You know what I'm saying? Because when you come out, that shit is not spectacular. You remember, Call of Duty, that's 3 companies making Call of Duty games now. It's not just one. So you're going to be getting it from the triumvirate. All right? All of them are going to go in on you. So, I don't know. But, I mean, it is friendly competition. I don't mind it. It wasn't like they said, oh, people need to be fired. Horrible trailer. They didn't go OD on it. But, yeah, I don't know.
That'll be next year.
Probably.
Yeah, actually something you latched on because we jumped into the whole, hey, the Basher thing. We didn't talk about the actual trailer. So, yeah, the new Call of Duty is called Infinite Warfare now, right? Taking place in the future, baby. And this is what I said when I saw this. I'm like, hey, space, where every franchise goes to die. Should we list them? Jason X, Hellraiser in space, Leprechaun in space. When you go to space, that's it. You're done. I guess the next Call of Duty is going to be Call of Duty in the Hood.
I guarantee. I'm assuming they've got to go beyond. And what's beyond space? Heaven. So what's going to end up happening is that the next Call of Duty will have you fighting. Spawn will be a Gus character, and you'll be fighting Satan on God's behalf.
You'll be
RPG and shit. I'd buy that.
Call of Duty. God of War edition, right?
Yeah, Call of Duty Angelic Warfare. Copywritten, pay me, okay? You guys are paying me for that.
We're giving them pearls, so we could call it Call of Duty Afterlife, or After Warfare.
Or Call of Duty Revelations, because we love to use that title.
Yes.
Hell, they can even go in depth with it. Like, what the game is, it focuses on what happens in those 4 seconds that it takes you to respawn, where you go into the afterlife, and then you're actually fighting for your ability.
That is too creative. You're already going way off the right there.
Too much of a good idea, Mike.
Too much.
Get at your boy. I'm saying, you know the Twitter. Hit me up. I mean, shoot, we can talk. I'm just saying that could happen, but no. But in all seriousness. What do you guys think about the trailer? I'm actually here to hear what you guys think.
I don't care. It's fucking Call of Duty. I could not give a shit. I really don't.
There you go. I guess.
And the problem is, that's the reason we were talking about. It's like no one on the podcast cares about Call of Duty. Like the only guy that kind of cared was Brian, and I think he left after Modern Warfare 2. So he stopped giving a shit. I don't care about Call of Duty. Like, I hate to say it, but I'm just gonna be honest. To me, Call of Duty kind of represents like. Not every, but a lot that's wrong with gaming. A bunch of meathead gamers that only play one game every fucking year and then only wait till the next game to come out to play. It's not really skill based. It's just, it's all about fucking perks and shit. Annual franchises. There's a lot wrong with Call of Duty actually. If you think about it, but I don't care for. I know there's dudes out there that like Call of Duty. It's all good. If you like it, but me, I can't get into shit like that.
Call of Duty.
And then there's the other thing. This game. I don't know what to make of this shit. So this game is being packaged with Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare, right, remastered or whatever, right? But if you want that game, which people actually want that game more than the Infinite Warfare, you have to buy Infinite Warfare. You can't buy them separately. People are kind of up in arms about
and
that.
You have to buy a special edition of it too.
You have to spend $80 minimum if you want that Call of Duty. People are going like, hey, I just wanted Modern Warfare Remastered. That lets you know something right there. People are more excited for a remastered version of Modern Warfare than they are for the brand new game. That is insane.
But you know they knew this, and that's why they're saying you can only get it in that deal. Because if they release that separately and sold it for $40, no one's buying Infinite Warfare. No one's buying that. Everyone's just going to get the remaster.
Exactly.
Honestly,
let's just be honest here. They'll do that, So that's what's going on here. But at the same time, see, Activision's trying to have their cake and eat it too, right? They want to pull people back, because people didn't like the last couple of Call of Duties, even though it's always in the NPDs. They're like, why is it in all futuristic? I want it to be more boots on the ground. So now they're like, okay, you want your boots on the ground game, here you go. But we're still taking you to the future. We're taking you further into the future, in fact. So they're trying to play it both ways, And I don't know if you guys caught what Activision said. They threw a little bit of shade at people who were talking shit. They were like, oh yeah, we heard the some of the things people are saying, but at the same time, this game has got the highest pre-orders of any Call of Duty game. So they're trying to say, you know what, fuck you, we're making money, kiss our ass. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, Activision, we're making money anyway, so shut up.
So they're just a bunch of Germans.
We make the games for you.
Yeah, well, wait, why are they German? I'm very lost right now. I don't understand.
Because they're the evil empire, and that's what all the evil.
So Germans are evil, is what you're saying.
Okay. At least the ones from
culture.
Even the ones from Nazi Germany. The Nazi Germany.
Have you seen any '80s action movies?
Yeah,
they're all Germans and Russians. They're all evil, right?
We make the greatest games for you.
You just sound like a Moonanite now.
You will buy our game.
But
Calling of Duty.
The Calling of Duties. Yeah, but there's not really much to say. Yeah, there's not really much to say about Call of Duty. No one gives a shit. I just wanted to talk about it. Yeah, it's like you're right. It's like, come on, Dice. You can't talk shit when your fucking house isn't in order either.
And it's messed up too, because honestly, Battlefield is a far superior game to Call of Duty. Yeah, I said it'd be mad, but the issue is that, especially with 3 and especially 4, the game launched broken. Like, there were certain levels you couldn't load to, or the game would just crash. And the game was so good, people played it anyway. Battlefield 4, if you go play Battlefield 4 now, it's smooth. They cut the rubber banding out. It's amazing. But it took them like a year and a half to get to that point. That shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I'm hoping DICE has learned from their mistakes and the new Battlefield launches and it works. Will it? Fuck no. It's EA. No, it's not going to. But I can hope.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna hear about Call of Duty again, soon.
Yeah. Well, I will agree with what Mike said. I did like Battlefield 3 a lot. I played it a lot. So yeah, it is superior, I think, to Call of Duty as well.
Well, I heard, I can't vouch for myself, but all my friends say it's the thinking man's shooter game as opposed to Call of Duty.
It is, and there's much more options for style of play and depth of combat, and like the things they take into account with bullet drop and velocity to equal for damage and all. It's very well done. The game just needs to fucking work. I don't want to get Battlefield 5 and like 3 of the maps I can't play because the game crashes. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. I don't want that. I don't want to be, I'm joining a party with my friends, and we join the game, and it puts us in different games, even though we're in the same party. Like, I don't want that. That's stupid. Get that right. Yeah, DICE and EA.
Crazy. All right, and the last thing here, this is pretty interesting. So Respawn Entertainment is working on a third-person action-adventure Star Wars game. Going to be canon and all that, right? So this is that. Okay, you got this game. You got the one with Amy Hennig and Visceral. They're working on one. Jade Raymond's working on another one with Motive, I believe, and BioWare's working on a Star Wars game. So we're getting a lot of Star Wars games. One of them, may be actually 1313. By the way, DA actually recently said they're not discounting that game. It may come back in some form in the future. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for that. It's like, here's the thing: Respawn, all they got right now is Titanfall, right? You saw the reception Titanfall 2 got. No one gave a shit. You know, they were like, yeah, we played the first game. The game was not that good, so you know, whatever. So I think this game definitely helped put them on that. And then the thing I'm excited. Stig Asmussen is directing the shit. I didn't even know this dude was working for fucking Respawn. You know,
wasn't he working on wasn't Stig working on the new God of War game?
No, he was the director of God of War 3. He left Naughty Dog. Not Naughty Dog. Santa Monica. I know he left. I didn't know he went to go join Respawn, and he's directing this new Star Wars game. So I'm pretty excited about that. Stig Asmussen back in the house. You know, and then you know the thing about Star Wars in general. I'm really enjoying the Star Wars comic books. I love the new movie. I like how they're rebuilding, you know, their new extended universe and stuff. So I'm like, hey, we need that for video games now. Battlefront, you know, it's like, come on, dude, the game has no story. Why am I gonna play this shit? You know, so I'm pretty excited about this. Like, hopefully it'll be better than The Force Unleashed, because The Force Unleashed, you know, the first game had a cool story, shitty game. Then the second game was a cool game with a shitty story. So it's like, give us something good, man. You know, and then the other thing is EA had already said they want a big third-person action-adventure game because they don't actually have one. You know, everybody else has one but them. So this could actually help them out in that regard. So yeah, what do we think about Star Wars by Respawn Entertainment?
I think it'll be interesting. Like, you know, I enjoyed God of War 3, and I think Stig's a good director. I would prefer if 1313 came back, because I was really excited when I saw that game, and when it got canceled, I was like, that sucks. I don't know though, but they're kind of. How many studios did you say are working on Star Wars games? Four different games.
Yeah, 4 different games.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty crazy, you know.
Somebody making the pinball game.
Yeah,
Jesus
right.
Christ.
And then exists. And then think about it. BioWare's coming back to Star Wars. That's got to get people excited, you know. Knights of the Old Republic and stuff. I was actually excited. Like, what if? Because right now, remember, all the old canon has been erased. What if they actually decide to bring back the Knights of the Old Republic and BioWare's going to helm it? That'd be pretty crazy, you know.
Knights of the New Republic.
Yes, Knights of the New Old Republic. But again, we don't have any idea when these games are going to come out at all. You know. Oh yeah, and then of course I almost forgot. DICE is going to be making more Battlefront games, so they're going to have their shit covered. But as excited as I am for a third-person action game, you can't just have nothing but those. You got to have different genres too. You know. So we'll see. Hey,
wasn't that game that you really like, the Republic Commando? Why don't they bring that thing back?
I enjoyed Republic Commando. Yeah, I played that game.
Yeah. Okay, so you did like, because Chris, I know you're not the biggest Star Wars fan.
Yeah, no, Republic Commando kind of was like Rainbow Six Light within Star Wars, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Being able to control your squad and do all this shit, like, I liked it.
Yeah, they had all those little hand signals. Like,
oh yeah, I liked that game. That game was silly, but they canceled. I remember when Disney got everything. They canceled Force Unleashed. There was supposed to be another one, so I guess that's done. And 1313, which I hope comes back. Yeah. But other than that, I don't care. Like, you know, DICE is gonna make another Battlefront. Terrific. I won't buy that one either. So that's great. And yeah, just make another game with no story and just limited play modes. It's fantastic. Yeah. So. Whatever, and yeah, just the BioWare one, that I'd like to see. That I'm curious about.
Yeah, for sure. Hey Brett, what about you? Because you're probably the biggest Star Wars fan in here. What do you make of all this?
I'm a little bit concerned that it's getting a little watered down, but fuck it, it's popular right now. I'm not happy that nobody really. I'm not hearing anything about Old Republic stuff. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
So I haven't been impressed with a whole lot of Star Wars stuff outside of the Old Republic universe, to be super honest with you. So I'm waiting to see.
Do you sense a disturbance in the Force?
No, I don't sense anything in the Force, which is kind of the problem.
Oh, that's interesting. So the Old Republic is your favorite era of Star Wars then, right?
Oh yeah, by a wide margin.
So would you be okay with them doing like a reboot of the Old Republic?
I'd actually prefer it because they went and fucked up the storyline by retconning all the best parts. So I would be absolutely down with them taking another crack at it.
Oh, sweet. Okay, that's pretty cool. And remember, the thing, with the new Star Wars canon, even though they said all the old stuff is jettisoned, they're slowly bringing some of that shit back. I think they're probably going to take the best pieces of it. So if they bring that philosophy over to remaking the, Old Republic, might be good.
That's what I'm hoping.
Mike, what about you, man? What do you think about the Star Wars news?
Wait, why can't I? Oh, there you go. I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I'll be honest. I enjoyed some Star Wars games in the past, like Knights of the Republic, 1 and 2. Even though I preferred 1. Even the RPG on PC was pretty cool. The old school Battlefront was dope. There was a Jedi Outcast, or was it Jedi? I mean, I played on the original Xbox. They had multiplayer. You would just run around using Jedi abilities. That was amazingly fun. I'm fine with all the new games coming. I understand why it's coming, why this is happening. It's mainly just, cash grab, Star Wars movies, Star Wars hype. It's cool to be a Star Wars fan, get the games out there. Just like Battlefront, it sold amazingly well with really no content for some damn reason. But maybe we'll get some good games out of it. So, I mean, you didn't, like, the people you mentioned, I have real confidence in the BioWare-based Star Wars game, so I'm for that. And the fact that you said 13, might actually still
13, yeah.
It might still be in development, because I thought that was canned, unfortunately, and that looked pretty cool, honestly. So it'll be cool to see if we actually still get that. But I mean, all in all, for Star Wars fans, I can see why they'd be excited. More Star Wars content, more ways of finding out about the newly expanded universe and whatnot. So, and hopefully, I hope the game's focused on new characters, because I don't like the characters in the new Star Wars movie at all. So maybe we'll get new characters I actually will like. Who knows?
There you go.
Yeah, I'll try and be optimistic, but I mean, I don't really have a dog in this race, honestly. So,
yeah, to me, they do definitely have some quality studios behind it, so we should get good games. But I can understand being worried that we may get oversaturation. Like, what if we get like a new Star Wars game a year? But then again, if they're good, it's not really a problem, is it? It's just like the movies. We're gonna get a new Star Wars movie every year now. Right now, actually, as a matter of fact, I'm looking at my feed here. They announced the guy who they're going to cast as young Han Solo, which kind of goes with what I was thinking. I think they may recast the entire old crew so they could bring back some of those in-between stories, like Shadows of the Empire or something. You never know. I mean, you already recast Han Solo. You may as well recast everybody else too. Younger versions of them. Pretty interesting. We kind of ran through all these stories pretty fast, so let's do what we always do to fill up a little bit of time. What games have you been playing? And Mike, since you're the guest here, what games have you been playing lately?
What have I been playing? Paragon, of course.
How is that for you, man?
I'm actually digging it. Smite, because Smite is Smite. Smite is life. I actually got into the Grand Kingdom beta from NIS America. It's like this really cool strategy RPG. Really, 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 really well done. I love the combat. It's a very deep game, actually. So it's on my radar. Like, it went from I'm interested into it to after playing this, like, I'm definitely picking this up. And Neo, obviously. Neo. That game.
Tell us about Neo, man.
But I dig it. I dig it. That's getting copped as well. So that's 2 games that I had questions about after playing it, and after playing them, I'm definitively on board with them. But yeah, those. Oh, and I've been really trying to buff up my fighting game knowledge of different games. So I went back. I started playing some Dead or Alive. Just I haven't played a 3D fighting game in so long. We have no console release date for Tekken yet, unfortunately, because I want to buy Tekken 7. Just tell me when I can buy it. God damn it. Sega's still being Sega and not giving us a new Virtual Fighter.
Oh, so, man, come on. Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. So I was like, well, DOA. And DOA 5 is actually, it's not bad. So I've been playing that. I'm going to start going hard body in Street Fighter now. Especially since I finally got my Brooks converter. So once my 360 stick arrives, it'll actually work on my PS4 now. So that's cool. But yeah, man, that's about it. Paragon actually just announced a new character. I think it was yesterday. They released a trailer for a new character that's like basically a robot controlled by some alien. It looks amazing. So, but actually, now that I remember, they're doing another stress test, so it's double XP this weekend on Paragon. So that's where you will see me. I'll be on the Paragon streets But yeah, that's about it. I'm trying to think. Did I miss anything? What other games I've been playing? Yeah, that's about it. I haven't played The Division. Oh, Jet Set Radio got added to backwards compatibility on the Xbox One.
Oh shit!
You already know what I did. You already know what I did. The moment I got saw the tweet from Hideki, that Xbox was on, and I hit that download real quick, and I've been playing that because that's my favorite. My favorite franchise continuously alternates, but that's consistently up there. Like, I just love that. I love that game. I love the music. I love the arts. I love everything about that game. That game is the closest thing to perfect, and it was one of the first games I played where it kind of expounded what it meant to me to play a video game. Like, it's not always just, high scores or save the princess. Sometimes it could just be a game that just looks cool and has you doing cool things, or is very artistically focused. Like, yeah, I know I just ranted, but I love just.
Hey, that's what Throwdown's about, man. You gotta show love for the games. As for me, yeah, I did play a little bit of Neo. We were asked what we thought of the trailer. I mean, the gameplay last time. None of us had played it. I played it for about 10 minutes because it just kind of got boring. The thing is, I know it because I was watching some people play the game before, some streams and stuff. I actually made it a little further than them, right? Because what game have I actually been playing this whole time? Dark Souls. So I'm going in there like with my sword raised, going in real slow, like backing off and stuff, being careful. But the thing is, with this game, you get hit once, that's it. You can't take a single hit at all, And then my main problem with Neo is, and I hate to compare it to Dark Souls, but I have to, Basically, when you lock onto someone in Dark Souls, if you back off, you still face them, right? In Neo, you turn your back. So what happens when you do that? They come at you and hit you in the back. I felt that was really, really cheap. So I'm like, can you fix that so I could always face the guy? Like, what's the point of having a lock on if you're not going to face the guy while you're doing it, I felt that was a little cheap. Controls were okay, but it's definitely not a game I'm going to pick up for sure. It just feels a little bit like Ninja Gaiden to me, and Ninja Gaiden's just okay. I'm not really the biggest Ninja Gaiden fan, even though that was a better franchise than this. But again, I only played about 10 minutes. So I can't really say for sure. I just played just to see what was going on with it. Wasn't too impressed, but whatever. And then, of course, Dark Souls. I've been playing with Brett and Chris a lot. We were destroying bosses, man. As a matter of fact, me and Brett took down one motherfucker tonight before we recorded,
Hell yeah. That went down like a bitch, too.
Yeah, we destroyed that dude, man. Fuck that guy. So that was good. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'm looking forward to Uncharted 4. Next week's gonna be nuts. You got Uncharted 4 and fucking Doom. So I need to finish Dark Souls 3 before those games come out. And then I gotta beat Uncharted before Doom comes out. So I'm gonna be rushing through a bunch of games, But good time to be a gamer for sure. Brett, get in here since I already mentioned what you were playing.
Dark Souls. Dark Souls, Dark Souls, Dark Souls.
And what are you doing? Yeah, and what are you doing right now in the game? You're actually like playing with a different character, right? Like tell the people about that, because you were playing the game and you're like, I want to start my other character now.
Yeah, like I got like 80% of the way through the game with my Pyromancer, and the first time I always play a blind playthrough, so I kind of pancaked my character a little bit. I didn't get into the Mountain Makers, and as a Pyromancer, that leaves me without Warmth, the only healing spell for a Pyromancer, which is kind of fucked. So in an effort to try and use a new sword, then I had made friends with one Covenant, which locked me out of the ability to get into that Covenant ever, and then I used up all my respecs trying out different weapons, and I found one that I really liked like 80% of the way through. And I realized, like, man, I've been playing this whole game as a dex build. This is kind of fun as a Pyromancer strength build. So I started a Pyromancer 2.0 and rushed to some late game areas early on. Killed the Dancer right away. Got my sweet armor. Got my badass new weapon. And now I changed my first character to a Hex user. And now I'm running a Pyromancer 2.0, and it is fucking glorious. I'm melting faces.
Nice. Yeah, you were doing some cool shit, man. It was pretty fun. And then Brett also taught me about, I guess, Dark Souls Chivalry tonight. It was pretty interesting. So I went to Brett's game, and he's showing me his Pyromancer and stuff, and this dude invades us, right? And, Brett's like, okay, you guys go at it. And this guy, he didn't, try to, bring me to where the enemies were. He wanted to duel me. So Brett just hung back, and we dueled it out like gentlemen. I whipped his ass, too. And then, but I learned about this afterwards, where it's like, oh yeah, I saw him. I figured, hey, you came into my game, I'm gonna let you guys duel it out, because it'd be kind of unfair to, team up on him, and he wasn't trying to cheat.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to pull some enemies. He wasn't trying to be cheap. He was obviously looking for a fight. So I was like, yeah, man, you can, I'm the host. I'm rocking a bunch of souls. I have a lot to lose. I'm not just gonna run out and tell my phantoms to hold back. But you can fight my phantom, and if you fight my phantom, I'll fight you.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a question like, hey, Tony, why don't you fight? I'm like, sure. Like, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, no, that was like releasing the attack dogs. I was like, hey, Tony, you want to fight him? You were like already halfway at him. You're like, yep, sure.
Yeah,
and you just proceeded to pin him into a wall and beat him like a redheaded stepchild with your long sword.
Yeah, because, as soon as he took a drink from his thing, right, when he did that, I'm like, okay, that's it. Cut him up.
Yeah,
six slices.
Chugged his Estus, and then Tony ran, hit him. He tried to take one step back, got stuck in the corner, and then you just beat him. And I swear to God, there was a moment while you were just beating him into the corner and stun locking him that he looked at me and went, "But why?"
Oh, beautiful moments, man. Beautiful moments. And right before that, we had a very unchivalrous guy. Remember that motherfucker? He pulled us right into the enemies, man.
Oh yeah.
Not cool. He was about to kill me, but I didn't let him have that satisfaction. I committed suicide. I jumped off a building. Fuck you. I'm dying my way.
Only I can kill me.
Oh man. All right. Chris, I know what you've been playing too.
Oh yeah, Dark Souls is eating my life away. So, I'm right here right now with my main character. I'm gonna start another playthrough, but I'm trying to find all the stuff in the game, because I want the trophies also. So I'm using this guy right now to find every little thing I can, all the covenants, all that stuff, everything I can before, if I have to take him into New Game Plus, which I really don't want to do, but I'll do it, get the trophy.
You've gotten like the platinums in all these games, right?
Well, the last one was Bloodborne, yeah, and I got Demon Souls. I didn't platinum Dark Souls 2, not the PS4 version.
But the PS3 one you did, or Xbox, whatever one.
And I think I platinumed that one, not original Dark Souls. Original Dark Souls I didn't platinum.
You were on Xbox for that one, right?
No. I had all of them on PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I want to platinum this one. It's just a pain to find every little thing, like every sorcery, every miracle, every pyromancy. You gotta find everything.
Yeah, man, you gotta go digging, boy. Yeah. That's the only thing that kind of sucks for me. It's like, damn it, I wish I had a little bit more time to actually play this game, because all this other shit's coming. Because I know there's a bunch of Estus flasks I missed. I want to build up my characters more, but, what can you do? I'll probably, hopefully, come back to it later. Manny, you been playing anything?
I haven't had time to play very much, but I've been playing Bloodborne, just trying to level up and get that final trophy for that one. I'm still playing Republic. Haven't been able to sit down and play it. And then, I've been traveling a little bit, to go here and there. And I just started a Peace Walker a little bit and played that a little.
A Peace Walker, that's pretty cool.
Well, I still kind of want to get a lot of the trophies for Peace Walker, even though I beat the game left, right, and crooked when it was on PSP. But
yes.
Retroactive.
Man, that transferring wasn't working, man.
Oh no! I had to find this goofball way to do the transferring between them because it doesn't work with the Vita. That's the thing that they don't tell you. You have to use a pen drive and then use the remote transfer to get your saves. It's weird.
That's pretty nutty.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, that's all the shit we're gonna play next week. I'm pretty sure we'll be talking about Uncharted and. No, not Doom, because Doom is coming out on Friday, which is very odd. Because it's usually the Sony games come out on Friday, but that's coming out Tuesday.
Is it the 13th?
Actually, it is. That makes sense.
Yeah, there you go.
You, my friend, you just answered. Yeah. Now I got Doom stuck in my head. Anyway, Mike, man, thank you for joining us once again, man. Always love having you on.
Hey, anytime you guys want me, just let you guys know where to find me. I enjoy it. So, quick thing before we dip out. I don't know if you guys are planning on talking about this. Thoughts on the Power Ranger costumes?
Yeah, we can talk about them.
I think I've already all of that's gone out of me already. I already said my piece.
Yeah, we're on Twitter today.
I saw you guys, but I was just gonna.
Reiterate. Yeah, because I didn't get to see.
Me personally, I don't have a problem with them at all, actually, because the suits make more sense than the fact that these dudes were wearing basically thermal underwear before. So, like, when they're getting hit with swords and lasers, they should have just died. At least now it looks like they can actually take some. I don't know. I think the Black Ranger one, and no, it's not because I'm African, looks the coolest out of all of them. Like, it just fits that design. I don't know. I think if I hadn't seen the Black Ranger one, like if it was just the derped out blue one, then yeah, I could see why people would think it looks trash. Because that blue one is derped the hell out. Like, it's bottom tier. By far, it's the worst one I've seen. But yeah, I don't know. I'm willing to give it a chance. Honestly, like, it didn't amaze me, but it didn't. It was enough where I'm like, all right, I'll still watch the movie. Because before I was like, yeah, I don't know, but I'm interested.
For me, I just saw it. And I just said, this is not for me. I don't need to see this movie. I wasn't going to see it before. I'm not going to see it even more now. I mean, at least go for something that is a little bit more respectful to the last movie ones. The last movie yeah, the movie that there was like the kind of weird armor shit that they had. I mean, or even go something less as fucking retarded looking. I mean, it's like it looks like somebody went crazy with a 3D printer all over their body.
Yeah, they have a lot of details on them. I don't know why their armor has molded boobs. They couldn't just have an extended breastplate. That makes sense.
Yeah, somebody said like, oh, the new Power Rangers look like the rainbow version of the N7 costumes. You know, Mass Effect.
Yeah. I mean, even then, like, if they went with something that was like a Mass Effect, the Mass Effect has a simplicity to it where it's readable. They just look like it just reminds me of fucking Transformers. It's just a bunch of kickstands and metal thrown together. And it's not nice. And oh, by the way, the female Rangers also have high heels. Great.
It could have been worse. They could have had them wearing skirts like they used to.
Well, one of them only wore a skirt.
Well, that's because in Japan the Yellow Ranger was male. So
yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I honestly, the high heel thing, I'm like,
it's like they have boobs and high heels now.
Yeah,
I don't know why they did that.
They didn't have high heels.
If they wanted to make them feminine, what they should have did is not have them have high heels. I think they honestly dropped the ball there. They shouldn't have had high heels on the female Rangers. They should have had them wearing skirts, though. That would have been awesome. But I don't know. Like I said, I still think Rita looks better than the Rangers now. Definitively.
Oh, we didn't talk about Rita Repulsa. She looks like fucking like a metal version of like Poison Ivy or something, you know.
She looks like she could get the last name. That's what she looks like. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Obviously now they're obviously playing up the Green Ranger stuff because they made her green, and whenever the Green Ranger shows up, he's probably going to be green and gold, less like her.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw the costumes. You know, I said this on Throwdown before. I don't really care about this movie. Like, I lost interest in Power Rangers after the original movie. Like, I saw them like, okay, that's a good way. That's a good exit point for me now. You know, I don't need to catch up with this franchise anymore. So I don't really care either way. Don't care. I do not care. You know?
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's just like more reasons not to go see it. So I'm like, all right, good.
Yeah, but like I said, like I saw the costumes. I don't have any feelings toward one way or another. Don't care.
Well, Kristen was making a point to me earlier. It's like, it's not like Power Rangers is out of anyone's memory. They've made a show every year since it debuted. And it's still the show on now Nickelodeon, so why make this movie? Or why go back to those Power Rangers?
Because
go ahead.
Because they're banking on two different things. They're banking on nostalgia of the original show, and then they're banking on the other side of all the superhero shits. They want to build another fucking franchise.
Yeah. I mean, think of it this way: They're making this movie for people like me. Why? Because honestly, the current Power Rangers that are showing, like, no, I can't watch it. It's horrible. And when I think of the Power Rangers I enjoy,
you got older. That's why.
No, but it's not even just that. I've kept up with like the lore and stuff, and there were certain series after I'd actually like Power Rangers SPD, which by the way in Japan wasn't even a Power Rangers show. It was just like a martial arts show. I don't know why they made it Power Rangers SPD, but whatever. Power Rangers SPD came out 5-6 years ago. That was amazing to me. I was a grown ass man watching that shit, getting hyped. People were getting, cats were getting, and I didn't care. People were getting the action. It was like they used gun kata, which you'd recognize if you watched like Equilibrium and stuff like that. people were dying. Like, it was real. Like, it was real. Like, one of the Rangers' fathers was a Power Ranger from the previous generation, and he died. Like, he just outright got killed. It wasn't, oh, he's entrapped in some fantasy world. No. The dude is 6 feet under. He's gone. He's murdered. He got destroyed. Brutally destroyed. And it was amazing to see. So, like, but for the most part, some of the other stuff, like, I couldn't, like, Wild Forest, where they had, like, the spirit animals. I was like, no, I can't watch this. Like, this is trash. So they realized that a lot of people like me grew up with Power Rangers and would like to see that. I mean, it wasn't so much that I was like, oh, I hope they redo the movies, because I didn't wake up one morning and say, yeah, they need to do this. But it was more of when it was announced, I was like, all right, as long as they don't do anything like Power Rangers Turbo, because that was trash. I don't.
Oh, Turbo is so garbage.
So that's why I'm for it. But I mean, basically, he's right. They're basically hoping to, hop on the superhero the wave, and because they want people like me that like the original Power Rangers to go to see it. And if they do a good job, I'll watch it. I mean, I'm open-minded to it. I mean, it could be worse. It could be Ghostbusters. Wait, I was supposed to say that. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm not watching that shit.
No, I'm not bothering either.
I think
with the Power Rangers movie, somebody goes, "Hey, you want to see Power Rangers?" I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll go. Ghostbusters, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
You offered to take me to see this new Ghostbusters movie. Those are fighting words. Me and you are throwing hands.
Yeah,
that's an insult. I'd see that as an insult because that looks.
The fuck did you just say to me?
Like, wait, what did you call my mom? We have to fight. Like that's what's happening. So
yeah, when Kristen saw the Power Rangers stuff, she was mad, and she's like, "I'm as mad as you were about Ghostbusters." I'm like, "Don't talk about Ghostbusters. Fuck that movie.
Don't talk about Ghostbusters.
We don't want to talk about whole Ghostbusters in this household." Oh man, Brett, did you see the Power Rangers costumes?
Nope, I did not.
Do you
I don't
care
really
about
have a whole lot
Rangers?
of investment in the Power Rangers. Like,
yeah.
This sounds, I guess, harsh, and I don't mean it to, but Power Rangers was my little sister watched it. It wasn't something that I was into. So I think the time frame just didn't mesh well, I guess. But I know a bunch of people older than me who watched it, so I think it was that weird. Yeah, see, I think it was that weird thing where I had a little sister who, 33.
The fuck? How am I younger than all? No, I watched Power Rangers. Well, I don't know. Your sister's younger than you, I assume, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, she was 6 years younger than me, and so I'm not sure if any of you guys have siblings like younger than you, but there's a firm rule: if your younger sibling likes something, you are too cool to enjoy it.
Wait, hold on, back up, Brett. You said you're 33?
I think so.
No, you're not. You're 30.
Wait, time out.
I just had my birthday.
You don't know how old you are, or you think I'm lost.
Brett smokes a lot of weed, so that may explain that.
Okay.
Oh no, it's just that I stopped counting after 30.
Wait. Oh, yeah, Brett, because I'm like, I could have sworn you were 30, or did I stop counting when you were 32?
Oh, you stopped counting when I was 30.
Fuck.
So no, it's one of those. Let's see. No, I'm going on 33. It's one of those things where it started to become. Am I going on 33 or was I just 33? Like, no, I'm going on 33.
You son of a bitch! You had me thinking I'm fucking way older. I'm only 3 years older than you, bro. We're the same generation. I thought you were like super younger than me.
No, dude. No. I've always been one of the older people.
Okay, okay, that makes me feel better.
I'm the youngest person on the show right now.
Yes,
probably.
Okay.
Yeah, well, going back to what we were saying, yeah, I remember in junior high school, me and Manny were watching Power Rangers. We didn't really
16 years old, by the way.
16. We weren't telling people that shit. We're like, yo, just keep on it. Don't tell people.
That's probably for the best because you would have gotten destroyed.
You know, the thing is that it kind of for me, it combined both of the things that I enjoyed.
Yeah, Kaiju battles and ninja shit.
It was like watching Godzilla and also watching fucking Kung Fu films.
Yeah, the
Godzilla and martial arts.
Yeah,
like I was 100% for that.
Yeah,
that's like that's what hooked me.
Yeah, but
I didn't care about the storyline. Like that was irrelevant.
Yeah, the story was stupid. It's like, hey, let's go to the juice bar. The fucking juice bar.
High school has a fucking juice bar, like right outside the high. I've never understood that. I swear, shows like that and Saved by the Bell portrayed high school. I'm so mad about them because I expected high school to be like that. There was no fucking juice bar at my high school. I couldn't just walk around the halls and have a friendly relationship with my principal in high school. Like I didn't have a band with my friends. I didn't have the Max. Like they lied to me. They all fucking lied. Fuck those shoes, dude.
Oh man, no, you're right. But yeah, but with me, when I saw the movie, I'm like, okay, I don't think it's gonna get any better than this. This is the pinnacle of Power Rangers. I think this is a good time to stop. I like Power Rangers for sure, man. The Green Ranger, man, that shit was epic.
The Green Ranger is such a boss, and then the White Ranger. That's what I'm like. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Anything after that is just like, okay, let it go. Like once they did once they went Power Rangers Zeo, I was like, all right, I'm done. And then Turbo, I was like, yep, my childhood is finished. I'm now a grown ass man because Turbo just let me know I can't watch this shit. Turbo to me was like watching the third Ninja Turtles movie, where it's like, all right, I'm not a kid anymore. I can't do this.
The one thing about Turbo is that the Japanese show was actually a joke. It was really supposed to be stupid. Yeah. Like, if you look at their heads, they have fucking headlights on there. They were a joke series. Like, even if you saw their poses where they kind of go like, like point at themselves and with their thumbs like, hey, it was all a joke, that series in Japan. So that's why that show was so stupid.
By the way, every time you guys say Turbo, I'm thinking about breaking. Just letting you know.
Oh, what? Okay. Yeah.
Turbo.
Wow.
What's up, Turbo?
Wasn't it just like the 30th or 40th anniversary of that movie or something that just came by not too long ago?
There was a point in my life, I don't know why, but that's how we greet each other. What's up, Turbo? What's up, Turbo?
What you do is you use like different names. If you can't remember somebody's name, you just use like other names. You'd be like, so what's up, Turbo?
And it always
what's up, Gmo?
Wow.
So yeah, Power Rangers.
New York.
And it's perfectly okay to call
you can,
listen.
You can go a whole lifetime. You can go a whole lifetime not knowing somebody's name and just calling them a bunch of goofball nicknames, right?
Dude, I do that. How do you think I get through the day at my day job? That's all like, hey, bud.
Slick, how you doing?
Yeah. Like, what do you want to do here, Chief? If you go ahead and fill out this paperwork for me, buddy, I'd really appreciate it. All right, Ombre, come on back. Like, I never know anybody's name.
Dude, I remember it's going back to junior high school, right? There was this one friend, Manny, and I had. His name was Danny. I found this out, literally the last day of junior high school. I'd known this dude for 3 years. Didn't know his fucking name. What's up, bro? What's going on, son? I never knew this guy's name. I heard it in past, like, his name's Danny, okay. You don't eat with a guy. You don't.
After a certain point, you cross a threshold where it's no longer cool to ask.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, I've known you for like a year and a half. Again? Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be like, wait, what's your name? Be like, I've known you for 3 years, dude. What do you mean?
Dude, I invited you to my sister's wedding, man. What the fuck? Yeah. See, but with guys, you get away with that. You don't need to know another guy's name. What's up, bro? What's going on? That's all you need. What's up, Turbo? I'm gonna bring
Turbo might be back. Turbo might be a little bit dated.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Someone called me Turbo, I'd be really, really confused.
I'm bringing it back. Oh,
dude, the obscure ones are the best.
Yeah, I'm bringing back.
You're not like the black dude from American Gladiators. Like, why are you calling me Turbo? I'm lost.
I'm going to E3. I'm gonna call that. Yo, what's up, Turbo? I'm doing it, man. I'm bringing that shit.
You you bump into Greg Miller. You just call him Turbo. Hey, Turbo, what's up?
Turbo? It's a conversation starter, man. You say, what the fuck, Turbo? Power Rangers, bitch. All right. Thank you for bringing that up, Mike. That was a good segue. Power Rangers. I was wondering if we should talk about it. It's like I don't give a fuck about.
If you've not seen Power Rangers SPD, go watch it. Pure fire. That's all I gotta say.
I say also if you're interested, go and pick up the reissued Japanese versions of the Power Ranger series.
Zoo Ranger.
There's Zoo Ranger, and then there's the Ninja the one after that the White Ranger was. I can't remember the name of that.
Wasn't that like Thunder or something?
It's Kaku Ranger, I believe.
Yeah. No, that's the Ninja.
Oh, that's the Ninja one?
Yeah. Kaku Ranger. Ninja.
The comics for Power Rangers that just came out are pretty dope too. I don't know why I forgot to mention that.
Yes, I know the writer from that. I think not Joe Keating, Joe Kelly.
Yeah, Joe Kelly.
Not Joe Kelly. Kyle Higgins. Kyle Higgins is writing those.
Yo, man, talking about being bad with names, right?
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Higgins is a really good.
Turbo.
Kyle's a cool dude. I actually had a chance to work on that series as a colorist, but unfortunately, I had other things going on and I couldn't take the project. But yes,
man,
you let Zordon down.
I let Zordon down.
Rangers. All right, that's it. I'm done. I just realized I need to change my phone because my phone is literally the Right Ranger fighting the Green Ranger. So I'm too old for that. I gotta stop. I'm an adult.
All right, so wrapping up a couple of things here. So I'm going to be on the Weapon Wheel podcast with our boy Broken Games HD this Sunday. That should be pretty fun, so look out for that. Otanime, we recorded a new Otanime the other day, so make sure to go to the channel, check that out. We're talking about motherfucking Pat Labor, which is fun. And last but not least,
let me interrupt you real quick.
Go ahead,
First
bro.
of all, I love Pat Labor. That's one of my favorite series of all
Man,
time.
we should have had you on, man.
Riku, me and you still have beef, all right? I saw that review you gave Pat Labor. I don't think you're off the hook, all right? With me and you, we're going to talk, and then that ain't cool. No,
yeah, during the podcast, Riku was not feeling Pat Labor at all. He was like, he didn't like that it was episodic. He didn't like that it was focused on.
He didn't like that. Oh, then again, I don't want to say it, but he didn't like that it was more of a realistic take. It's more of a cop show than a mech show.
They're just a bunch of teenagers that find the robots and can pilot them because love.
Because they have the skill.
Yeah.
Because they have a mysterious skill like alpha brainwaves or something.
Yeah. No, man, I fucking love Pat Labor. So, Chris, thank you for choosing that one, man. Pat Labor is great.
Oh, I love Pat Labor. When I first saw it, I was like, this is great, man.
See, great minds, man. Great minds, I tell you.
Yeah, so please go check that episode out. We went pretty in depth. And then the last thing, obviously, Captain America Civil War is coming out, so you know what's going to happen, people. Spoiler alert!
Yep.
We'll probably record that on a Saturday afternoon. I'm going to go see the movie tomorrow. I guess most of us are probably going to see the movie tomorrow. So,
yeah, I'm going to probably go at around 7 Eastern.
Yeah. It's funny. It's around the same time I am. We're going to be different places watching the same movie. I'm already seeing my timeline blowing up. People are going crazy. Loving this movie.
Yep.
That's good to know. I can't wait. Give me that shit.
It was already blowing up from all the Japanese and Europeans that have already seen it. The whole world have seen the movie before we have.
Yeah, no, this is the Americans now because they got to see it tonight,
No, yeah, but I'm saying the whole world has pretty much seen the movie before we all.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that made any sense. An American movie through and through. Let's show it everywhere else first. Like, what?
Yeah, and it already made bank, too. Which is crazy. I know Torrance didn't like that. Like, why are you talking about that? It's like, because it's interesting news, Torrance. It's because Torrance went off. Oh, yeah, we had a crazy rant with Torrance the other day, man. I drove him crazy because, about Star Wars, because he is of the mind that he flat out said they need to bring back George Lucas. That's what he said.
Oh, he's always been saying that.
Yeah.
While I understand Lucas brought a lot of unpopular moves with the second trilogy, I understand why someone would say that because he is the person responsible for the franchise existing in the first place. And it's kind of messed up to see people that are fans of something he created kind of look down on him just because of some decisions he made. Well, I shouldn't even say that because it's Jar Jar Binks, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, but at the same time, there's been more Star Wars stories that are great without him. I'm talking
about. I know. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I'm just looking at it as an outsider looking in. Like, I could see that. That'd be like someone making a Lord of the Rings movie, and they just said, let's use the stuff J.R.R. Tolkien didn't really come up with. Like they did the Hobbit movies, which are complete trash. So maybe that's what.
It's more along the lines of he's kind of the equivalent to Steve Jobs. Like, he didn't come up with Star Wars. He didn't write Star Wars. He took a bunch of other people's good ideas, put them together, drafted it into a 12-page outline, and then handed it off for real writers to write. So it's not so much his contribution or the things he contributed or the lack thereof. It's the fact that he gets all the credit for essentially just being like, it would be cool, fantasy in space. Like, yeah, but a lot of the characters are blatantly based off of other characters, and a lot of the actual writing was done by other people. So that's where a little bit of the animosity comes from the Star Wars community.
Yeah, and then you see what happens when he does it all himself.
Yeah, and then he came in the prequels basically throwing his weight around and said, I'm the man responsible for the success of Star Wars. And everybody kind of went, well, you are George Lucas, and he made a bunch of decisions that were terrible decisions, basically highlighting the fact that most of the good things in the Star Wars universe weren't necessarily brought forth by George Lucas himself. So I'm not trying to start like a Star Wars cat fight. I'm just trying to shed some
Oh,
light.
there's no cat fight here. I'm not a fan, so I have nothing to argue with at all.
Okay, well,
that's
that's generally the point of contention within the community is that he's not really responsible for most of the good things. So
Torrance and I got into another scuffle about that because he believes that The Force Awakens was a travesty.
Damn.
That's what
Torrance likes Tyler Perry movies.
Yeah, and then I told him that. Yeah. And then I told him this, and he got mad at me. He's like, "Why are you comparing those two?" I said, "Dude, let me get it straight. You don't like The Force Awakens, but you like Batman vs Superman." And he was like, "What? Why are you saying that?" Like, because I'm trying to understand where your mind is coming from. How do you like this piece of trash, and I like The Force Awakens?
Hey, I like Batman vs Superman. I hate Force Awakens.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you can probably explain yourself instead of yelling, going, George Lucas created it.
Well, no, it's not that. I just don't like how Force Awakens was literally like a recycled plot. They literally took.
Oh no!
What was the second Star Wars movie?
Empire Strikes Back.
It took Empire Strikes Back and gender swapped characters.
It was actually The Force Awakens. It was actually the New Hope.
It was New Hope over again.
It was actually.
I thought New Hope was. I don't remember the order because I didn't see them in order. I just remember seeing.
To be honest, all that movie is literally a throwback to all those films. It's like, hey, look, we're on the ice planet. Hey, look, we're on the desert planet. Hey, look, we're on the forest planet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I didn't mind the homages. The homages were fine. It made sense for them to do them. It was just more so like it was nothing. Like the only bit of originality in the film is just we're gonna inject diversity for diversity's sake in the movie.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't disagree. Yeah, here's the thing. I don't disagree with you, but the thing is, I excuse that because I felt it was necessary. After the big fuck up that George Lucas did with those 3 last movies, people needed to be reminded again why they love Star Wars. Now, if
I can see that argument, yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's reset things without really resetting it. So if this new movie comes out and it's beat for beat Empire Strikes Back, then I'm going to be pissed. I'm like, okay, guys, you reset everything. You remind everybody why they love Star Wars. Now you need to do new shit, completely new shit. If they don't do that, then I'm going to be pissed. So I'll let it slide in that case. Like, okay, when I was watching, I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I love Star Wars. It reminded me of that again, And it made me think there's going to be some kids watching and going, oh yeah, this is great, But it's necessary to do that. And it was a better quote-unquote remake than fucking Jurassic Park and the Terminator movie were. Don't get me started on that bullshit. But anyway, let's start wrapping this fucking thing up.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure to follow the Coalition at thecoalition.com. Also help support the site by donating to our Patreon page. Subscribe to Throwdown, SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are available in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco. Tonight's joined by Emilio Lopez.
I will see you later. And remember, buy Call of Duty.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Brett Murdock.
Deuces.
And Mike A.
Have a good evening, everybody listening. Thanks for supporting the Coalition. Oh, follow your boy on YouTube, Hated Greatness. Find me on there. You can search me. One word, Hated Greatness. You'll find me. I review anime and video games and all that stuff. So just find me there. But thanks for tuning in like usual. Keep supporting the Throwdown, man. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thank you for being on, man. Anytime. All right, people. Next time. Later.
Peace.
Later, guys.